So today we're going to show you how to create a new production and manage that production in Actual. Start by clicking Productions in the side rail, then click New Production in the top right corner, then enter the job information. This will be for a client called Dino Bars. We'll add the job number, 2210. You'll see that we'll want to generate a prefix. This prefix will be used for generating POs down the road. Select the production type. The production type identifies the line items that you want to use for the job. So we'll use the AISP Classic, but you have the ability to customize those tags through the line item tag manager in the sidebar. We'll select a start day. It'll be January 14th, and it'll wrap on February 2nd. And this is going to shoot in Chicago. We'll want to put in the production team. So for owners, we generally want to put in executive producers, heads of production, or accounting folk at the company who will be overseeing the production. So let's put Wednesday as the EP, and we'll put Frank Drebin as our accountant. You'll invite the managers for the production. This is generally your production supervisor and your line producer. So let's say it's Penny Lane as our line producer, and Axel is going to be our production supervisor. Lastly, just identify who is the accountant for the production. The accountant is ultimately the one who's going to review all the finances at the end of the job. So it can be a treasurer of the company, it can be the head of production, but just someone who's going to give a quick glance before the job is totally wrapped. All right, so we'll create our production. We'll want to fund this production, so we'll go to the Fund Management button. And we'll go to our company account. Let's say we want to move 30,000 into the production, and that's for our Dino Bars production. And we'll just say Dino Bars production budget number 1. Transfer those funds. Now you'll see that we have $30,000 in the account. All right, so let's get our team some cards so they can start getting to work. Let's say we want to give Axel, our production supervisor, a card. Let's send him a physical card so he has something on hand. We can send it standard shipping rates, and let's give him, say, $5,000. Right, so we'll create the card, and let's give Penny a card too, a virtual card with a $2,000 limit. And now you'll see that Penny can access that virtual card right away. She can use it for online purchases, or she can add it to her wallet on her phone and make purchases with contactless, either with Apple Pay or Google Pay or Samsung Pay. So now that the team has the ability to spend money, let's have a look at what expenses look like. So if we jump to expenses, you'll see that at the company level, you have access to all the purchases across all of your jobs. But you probably want to drive into a job in a little more detail. So you can jump into the production itself, look at all the expenses for that production, or you can drill down even further to the employee level. So we'll look at an employee's spending, and you can see all those expenses. You can have a look at what line items they were assigned to. You can update those if they're incorrect, and then you can add an expense. So you'll see that a receipt has already been added to this, but it's easy enough just to add one in if there's multiples or if one's missing. And that's it. That's expense management. Let's have a look at purchase orders too quickly. So again, similar to expenses, purchase orders can be viewed at the company level, but then they can drill down even further to a job level. So we'll look at this production, Hungry for the Big Game. And you can see all the different expenses, and then you can drill down into the different versions. So whether it's a draft, whether it's been approved to be paid, or if it's been paid, and you can look at the details for those POs. You also have the flexibility to download the PO. Downloading the PO will download it with the top sheet along with the invoice and the W-9. And lastly, let's just show you how you can quickly create a purchase order. So click purchase order, we'll add the vendor. It's the Awesome Company. They're already in the system, so we don't need to manually enter their information. We already have their W-9 on file. Let's just go ahead and set the terms. So let's say that this was an invoice that should be net 15, and the vendor provided the invoice on the 19th. The status, let's assume it's paid, and we'll get to that in just a second. All right, so Now let's just add the invoice in, and let's give it a description. Let's say this is for a camera rental, and we'll pull up the line item number. So that'll be camera rental. It's 1, and let's say it was $3,000. And as mentioned, let's assume that this was paid already. We can select the payment type, whether it was an ACH, a credit card payment, or check. For this, let's just assume it was an ACH. I'll put the amount of the payment, $3,000, and then we'll just go ahead and we'll log that. And now we have a generated PO.